Good afternoon. Today is the 14th of January and the Shogun has gone. It went earlier on today. A driver came to pick it up and it is gone. The cash is in the bank. The loan that I got off my mother has been repaid, which is always a nice thing. And I think it's time for me to talk about, what exactly has happened with the car. And also, I'm going to tell you about why I don't sell cars professionally. You might think as an independent vehicle consultant that I'd be au fait with, doing that side of things as well. But I do only find cars to people. I don't buy them on people's behalf. I don't sell on people's behalf. And I'll explain a bit of why I don't do that in a little while. So as many of you know, the reason I bought the Shogun wasn't because I wanted it particularly. It's because a friend of mine whose name is Piers, who I've known for a number of years, needed to change it for a different car. I helped him to find a type of car which he was happy with, and he's perfectly competent mechanically, so he went to see it himself, and he was very happy and he bought the car, which was great. And he said to me, I don't really want a hassle of selling the Shogun. I'll go to ebuyanycar.com and I'll see, how much they give me for it. And, I just don't have time to deal with it really. I've got other more important things to do, which, I understand most people are like that, to be honest. If you give me like £1 extra over WeBuyAnyCar.com, you can have it. And so you got a price to WeBuyAnyCar.com. It's not a service I particularly recommend using anyway, but they will give you money in your bank and they'll take the car off you. And so we agreed a price, and I was then proud owner of a car, which I picked up just after Christmas. Now, I had to wait for the V5 to come through because, one of the questions anybody's going to ask you is the V5 in your name? And if you're a motor trader, this doesn't really matter, because there's a special way that you can preserve the V5 by, the private seller of the car, or whoever you've got it off. You can say, the car's been given to a motor trader. In my case, I'm not a registered trader. I don't have trade plate, I don't have trade insurance, so I have to do it as a private individual. And so, I have to send it off like everyone else. Also, I have to get insurance like everyone else. Now, and then I have to tax the car like everyone else. So, as you can see, the cost of this for me already mounting. I knew there was, a decent margin enough in this, but once you've paid for insurance, in my case, it was about £200, I think. The tax on that car is £50 a month. Because I had to pick it up before the new year, I actually had to pay for 2 months' tax. And on that car, it's £50 a month. I also had to advertise it. That cost £37, I think, for a couple of weeks on Auto Trader. And as well as that, I bought some new mats. That wasn't very much, it was £11. I also fitted 2 new fan belts, because the Shogun has 2 fan belts of this type anyway, and a power steering belt, because they were making a horrible noise and they were original belts. My friend Chris from Boats and Engines, who you would have seen in the off-roading video, first of all looked at the belts for me and made a decision that yes, they needed replacing. My friend Mr. Coleman, rubbish mechanic, sourced the belts for me because he has a trade account at a supplier, which is brilliant. It's always useful to know somebody who's got a trade account for getting those. And then I put it in at the usual garage that I use, which is called Pro Tyre, which is in Eastleigh. My family have used Pro Tyre, or what used to be called just Mitsubishi Tyre Services, and they used to supply all the cars to performance cars, magazines like Evo, back in the day. That they were the people that they went to. What car used to recommend them? They are excellent. This is a subsidiary of the one in Mitchell Devil, which is where my mother used to use them. Obviously, I live in Eastleigh, so it's more convenient to go to Eastleigh and Mitchell Devil. So they fitted the belts for me. I think that was £144, which was fine. Don't mind that. They do a very good job. All of the cars in our household, we have a lodger as well, and our lodger gets her car serviced there too. I use them for the sale. I use them for the VMG. They're very good. So then obviously I've got to advertise it. So you can see how the costs are mounting on me, and why perhaps peers just wasn't willing to do all this stuff. If you've got a premises, if you've got a pit or a ramp or something, and you can fiddle around and fit these things yourself, you've got a trade account, then you can see how you save a load of money through that. You'd have some trade plates, you wouldn't need to tax the car. You'd have trade insurance, so you don't need to buy extra insurance to pick it up. You don't have to sort of worry too much about, waiting for the V5 to come back or whatever. You just get on with it. You just keep the V5 that you already got, and do anything on the system, which is actually what I did for the person who picked it up. I registered the car as sold to the motor trader, because eventually the car has gone to a trader in East Anglia, a dealership where they specialise in off-road vehicles. Now, I was able to make a little bit of money on the car. It wasn't as much as perhaps, some of us were thinking it might be, but it is a funny time of year to sell as well. January is not a time of year when, a lot of us have got a lot of money. I know from being self-employed, I've just done my self-assessment tax, and I have a tax bill to pay. I have to pay that by the 31st of January. I can't get out of that. Christmas has just come, and some of us are still recovering from that financially. I'm not even talking about the physical aspect of that. So it is a funny time of year to be selling cars. So January is a good time maybe to buy one. If you're in a second-hand car market, it's great. Maybe there aren't too many up there, but to buy a car in this time of year is fantastic. To sell one, I'm not so sure. Even a very capable car like the Shogun. And of course, if you've got a premises and, you're mechanically minded, I'm not particularly, then you can fix all little jobs the car needed, like the wheel arch line needed clipping back on, the one of the parking sensors had dropped out, it needed a new one, the reversing camera needed connecting back up. So all these little things, you can kind of see that they all mount up in one way or the other. And if you are an actual trader and you've got a premises, then you can make good money, and you do this all the time. Whereas if you're me, then I only really have access to the same kind of tools that anybody who'd be selling a car privately would do. Obviously, I've got a channel, and that gives me a bit more exposure. But generally, I found that the cars that I own, if it's on a channel, people don't really want to buy them. I don't know why that is. It was the case with the Rover as well. When we sell the MG quite soon, I don't know if that will be the case or not, but either way, it will be going up, because it will be going up for sale in that way. Because I at the moment, the people who watch my videos, they're not particularly interested in buying the type of cars I have, which is fine. It's just I have to be sensible about it, rather than just waiting for someone to contact me through the channel. The car has to go, because we've got to get rid of it. My lady wife was pretty keen for us to go back to the number of cars we had, which is fine. I didn't need the Shogun really, although it was a lot of fun. So yeah, there was a small amount that I was able to clear off that. Obviously the loan's been paid back to my mother, which is brilliant. That's the most important thing for me. And I didn't make a loss on the car, but I didn't have loads of calls about it. I had to reduce the price several times. So yes, if you want to become, a car trader and do it properly, then you can see how you can make a number of savings, particularly if you've got a workshop and you've got somebody who either does mechanics for you quite cheaply, or you can do them yourself. Whereas me, I don't have any of those particular advantages. I'm very happy to find cars to people, but please don't ever ask me to sell your car for you on your behalf, because I just won't do it. So there we are, viewers. More hopefully useful advice for all of you. I know a lot of you on the last video, when Chris and Boats and Engines and I talked about the fact that selling cars could have some perils and pitfalls. A lot of you who are very automotively minded, even more so than I am, commented that you didn't really get involved in that kind of thing. And, this just reinforces to me why you might not want to do that. I do totally understand why you wouldn't want to do it. Some people love it. They love buying and selling things. I like buying stuff. I don't particularly like selling it. So there we are. Thank you ever so much indeed for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see what else we're going to be buying this year once the MG is sold, because that'll be going soon. And don't forget to visit my website, www.lloydvehicleconsulting.co.uk, and my Facebook page, facebook.com/Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. Thank you ever so much indeed for watching.